Okay, so everybody can hear me, can see this? Can you see this screen? Can you see x squared minus 5x plus 4 equals 0? Yeah, I record for everyone, don't worry. Okay, so what do you call this? What do you call this? Quadratic what? Quadratic equation. This is called a quadratic equation because you have a quadratic form and it's equal to 0. Can tell me how will you solve this? What will you do to solve? Formula, okay, that's one way. Another way, mode 3 is the factorization way. So let's say we do factorization. Can tell me what are the two factors, please? Okay, so x minus 4 is the first factor. Must tell me the full factor, not just the number. And then x minus 1 is the other factor, right? So, upon solving, yep, x is 4 or x is 1. Up to here, okay? Okay, this one, if anybody don't know how to do, means must go back secondary school already. So, now the next thing, however, today we're not learning how to solve quadratic equation. We're learning how to solve quadratic inequality. So, how does an inequality look like? It looks something like this. Something like this. I'm following the notes, so if you can open the notes at the same time to page 26, 27, that would be excellent. Okay. So far so good? Repeat, huh? I repeat. Turn your book to page 26 or 27, around there. 26, 27. 27 will be better. Okay, page 27. Stop asking me how long. 2 hours. Okay, let's continue, okay? What I have here is no longer called the quadratic equation. It's called a quadratic inequality. Alicia, why is this called quadratic inequality? Just type the answer there, okay? Why is it called quadratic inequality, Alicia? Okay, it's because there's an inequality sign. You see that alligator jaw thingy, like a crocodile teeth, crocodile jaw? This is the inequality sign. So you have a quadratic form with an inequality sign, hence it's called quadratic inequality. Okay? So next time if they ask you what's a quadratic inequality, which one is a quadratic inequality, you must be able to identify. So far okay? Okay, I go on. If I don't see anybody say, teacher, please repeat, I will go on. Audrey, fantastic. Okay. So, how to solve this quadratic inequality? To solve this quadratic inequality, firstly, let's move all the terms to the left-hand side. So this will become x squared minus 5x plus 4. The alligator sign continue as like that, then 0. So far okay? Okay, now, so what I end up having is something similar to what I had before. Similar, but not quite the same. This is an inequality, not an equality. But never mind. I shall solve it as if it is equality first. So, I change the inequality sign to equal sign first. Okay? And then I do the normal solving, like what I did just now. I factorize. And hence, I end up getting 2 points for x. X equals to 4 and x equals to 1. Okay? Can? But, ultimately, we're not interested in the equality. We're interested in the inequality one. We're trying to solve for this. So what is the meaning of this? What are they asking me to find? When they say solve this inequality, what is it they're asking me to find? They're actually asking me to find what are the values of x such that the graph of x squared minus 5x plus 4, meaning this left hand side, is always less than 0. So I repeat, when they say solve the quadratic inequality, the question is actually asking me to find what are the values of x that allow the graph of x squared minus 5x plus 4 to be always less than 0. So this is the question we're trying to solve for. Okay? Okay, I continue first, then maybe the picture will be clearer. So remember just now I let it be 0 and I solved it. I found the 2x intercept already. This is what I found just now, right? So what I do is I'm going to go to the side and I'm going to draw this graph. I'm going to sketch the graph for x squared minus 5x plus 4. So what do you think it will be? Will it be a smiling curve or a frowning curve if I were to sketch it? Smiling or frowning? Why smiling, Sherry? Why smiling? Because what is positive? What is positive? What? The, not x lah, the x squared coefficient, the a. It is a positive 1. So that tells me it is a smiling curve. So I know it must be something like this, smiling. Can tell me what are the 2x intercepts? 4 and 1, excellent. Remember just now I found x is 4, x is 1. Those are the x-intercepts. So I draw 1 here and draw 4 here, right? And it's a smiling curve, which means it looks something like this. Are we okay so far? Okay. So let's go back to what the question wants me to find. They want me to find, thank you, one thing. They want me to find what are the values of x such that the graph will be less than 0, such that the graph will be negative. So my next step will be to figure out which parts of the graph is negative. Okay, let me change the color. Which parts of the graph will be negative? I will say this part of the graph is negative. Can you see the curve is completely underneath the x-axis? So this part of the graph will be negative. Yes or no? Okay, since you identified that this part of the graph will be negative, hence my answer will be the values of x it should take will be anything between 1 to 4. X must be anything between 1 to 4. And hence this is the answer for my quadratic inequality. Is that okay? So this is the answer to solving this quadratic inequality. Sherry. Can you hear the drilling? So uncomfortable. Oh, okay. Yishun got all sorts of things. Okay, so now let's say the question wants to be difficult on you and they say, okay, after finding the answer to the inequality, can you represent the answer on a number line? I'm going to show you how to represent the answer on a number line. So remember my answer is x is between 1 to 4. So let's represent this on a number line. So number line must be number line lah. This is the number line. It's a one horizontal line. The numbers I'm interested in is 1 and 4. So I draw 1 and 4. X must be anything in between 1 and 4. So x must be anything in between 1 and 4. Let me draw a open dot and another open dot and then connect it using a horizontal straight line. Why is this dot a hollow dot. Anybody can tell me why is it hollow? Why don't I shade it? Why do I leave it hollow? Yes, exactly. The reason why I don't make it solid is because, let me erase first. Okay, the reason why I leave it hollow like that is because if you look at my answer, there is no equal sign. Hence, I leave the two ends hollow. Okay, now if my answer actually had equal sign like this, let's say it had equal sign like this, then I must make the two ends solid circles. Okay, so for now, let me erase that. Erase. So the answer must be hollow circle, hollow circle. So these are the two ways to represent the answer. Either you represent it this way with the alligator jaw like that, or you can represent it on a number line like this. Okay? So this is in a nutshell how you solve quadratic inequality. Okay, we'll do one more example. Any questions so far before I go on to the next example? Easy peasy, right? Okay, we do one more example, okay? We do example 5.27, exercise 5.27. Okay, read the question, is on page 28. Page 28. Okay, this time I'm going to start asking people, yeah? So I have the question. I'm finding the range of values of x for which x squared must be bigger than or equal to 6 minus x. Okay, this is the inequality I'm supposed to solve. And they say represent the solution set on the number line. So after I solve it, later I must draw a number line to represent my answer. Okay, first step. What do I do? Brian, help me answer, please. What do I do first? Shift to one side, exactly. So I move the 6 over, I move the minus x over. What does it become? What does it become? Left hand side becomes what? Nice. X squared plus x minus 6. I have a habit of making the x squared comes first, then the x term, then the constant term, okay? Like that better. Then you won't make mistake when you solve it later. Bigger than equal to 0. Okay? Next step. Let me ask Karina, what do you do now after that? Mm-hmm. Okay, nice. So let the inequality sign be an equal sign and solve like normal quadratic equation. Excellent. Can somebody factorize for me? Edison, can you factorize this for me and solve the equation? What are the two factors? Okay. Use your brain lah, don't use calculator. What are the two factors? Okay, somebody help Edison, please. Okay, so what are the factors? Don't give me the numbers. Give me the factors together with the x. X what? X plus 2, x minus 3. Correct or not? Not quite right, right? Wrong, ah? No, because if you expand this, you get a negative x. You won't get a positive x. I need a positive x. What should it be? X plus 2, x negative 3. Eh, isn't that the wrong answer just now? It should be x minus 2, x plus 3, right? No, your calculator never failed you. The calculator give you the answer as 2 and negative 3. 2 and negative 3 in factor form should be written like that. This will give you x is 2. This will give you x is negative 3. Oh, this is a common mistake, because you over rely on calculator. You don't know how to use your own brain to write it into factor anymore. So these are the factors. Be careful, okay? So what are the two x-intercepts? Rachel, what are the two x-intercepts? So x equals to 2, that's the first intercept, and x equals to negative 3 is the next intercept. Okay? So far so good. So, but this is not what I'm looking for, right? I'm intending to solve the quadratic inequality. What's the next thing I need to do? Junwei, can you help me, please? What's the next step after I found the solutions to the equation? Okay. Yep, exactly. We need to sketch the graph so that we can visualize which region we want. Do we want the positive region or do we want the negative region? Very good. So we sketch the graph, okay? So by the side, let's sketch the graph. Can tell me whether this graph will it be a smiling curve or a frowning curve? Smiling or frowning? Smiling. Very nice. Why smiling? Natasha, why is it smiling? Positive equation, positive coefficient of x squared, you mean? Yeah, okay. So smiling, ah? What are the two x-intercepts? What are the two x-intercepts? I think I lost someone. Is it Audrey lost again? Eh? Wait. Wait, ah. No, I'm still here. Don't worry. I'm still here. Okay, so the two x-intercepts are minus 3, so minus 3 is here, and 2 is somewhere here, right? Okay, smiling curve. So let me sketch. Smiling curve looks something like that. Okay, so let's see which region are we interested in. Go back to the quadratic inequality. We're interested in where the graph is bigger than or equal to 0. So positive. I want positive. I want a positive curve, the part of the curve where it's positive. So we're interested in this part and this part, correct or not? Since I'm interested in these two red parts, let's see what x values must I take. I will want all the x values that is from negative 3 all the way to the left, right? That means I want x to be less than or equal to negative 3. I want all the x that go this way. Why is it this one my answer got equal sign? Can tell me? No, I think I lost Matthew. Why is it my answer here got an equal sign? Just now don't have, how come now have? Anybody? Okay, my answer has an equality sign here because my original inequality, look at here, it has an equal sign here. So my answer must tie in nicely with the question. So here got equal sign, here must have equal sign. Okay? Okay, but that's just this part. I still have another part. I have this part to take care of also. So here, my x must be bigger than or equal to 2. So I want any x that is 2 and above. Are we okay up to here? So this is my answer already actually. We're done. Okay, don't understand which part, Audrey? From where onwards you don't understand? The science part. Okay. I erase, huh? Let me erase this. You understand why the graph looks like this? Okay. Now if you understand why the graph looks like that, then it's okay. So I draw the graph again. Let me draw the graph again so it's easier to see. Okay, so just now I said we have to draw the graph. The graph is a smiling curve and the roots, the x-intercepts are -3 and then a 2 here. So my graph must look something like this. Okay? After I got the graph, I go back to the inequality that I'm solving for. The inequality wants me to find values of x such that the graph is bigger than or equal to 0. Means the graph, I want the positive parts. I want the positive parts of the graph because bigger than equal to 0. So look at the graph. Which parts of it are positive output? It's this part, this part. How about the part that's at the bottom? The part at the bottom I don't want because this part of the graph, the output is always negative. It's below the x-axis. Up to here, okay, Audrey? Okay. Then, looking at where I just sketched, which is this area and this area, these are the two parts I want. Let's think about it. Your x values must be anything to the left-hand side of -3, right? Because I want to take all the values of x that are to the left of -3. So therefore, part of the answer is x must be less than or equal to -3. Okay, it can be -4, it can be -5, it can be -1000, it can be -3000, doesn't matter. I just want all the x to be less than or equal to -3. Because if I were to continue drawing the graph, it will always be positive output. Up to here, okay, Audrey? Okay, and then there's an equal sign here, which is different from just now, the example, because the inequality also had an equal sign here. You see that? So I must make sure my answer follow the question. Okay, so that's only for the left-hand side. I still have one more part to take care of, is this part. For this part, so all x must be anything to the right of 2. So x must be bigger than or equal to 2. So it can be 5, can be 10, can be 112, it doesn't matter as long as your x is more than 2. Because if I continue drawing, it will always be positive graph. So this is my answer already actually. Are we okay up to here? Okay, if anybody still don't understand, it's okay. Later I'll do one more example while the rest of them who understand, they can start doing tutorial. Okay, but the question hasn't ended. They say represent the solution set on the number line. So we need to draw a number line. Yes, one thing, my dear. So number line come out. This is my number line. My interested numbers are -3 and 2. Okay, I tell you what question, okay, later. -3 to the left, of course, then 2 to the right. Okay, now x must be less than or equal to -3 according to my answer here. So x must be less than or equal to -3. So we're interested in this part of the number line. Correct or not? See my arrow? It's going to the left of -3. Jinglong, why is it I draw a solid circle? Just now it was a hollow circle. Why I draw a solid circle at -3? Yes, because the answer has an equal. You see the equal? So I must draw a solid circle. Exactly, Diana, because of the inclusive. Next one, x must be bigger than or equals to 2. Bigger than or equals to 2 must be this area. So this is my answer on the number line. Okay? Yeah, correct, Jinglong. Okay, those who have already know how to solve quadratic inequality, the tutorial questions are these. I'm going to type out on the message box, okay? You give me a sec. You have to do question 14b, 16, 17b, 18, 22b, 23. You do now, and then you post your questions on the chat, or you can unmute yourself and ask me questions. But later, okay, later. I still have one more example to go through. So those who understand, you can ignore me now. Those who still want to see how to solve quadratic equation inequality one more time, we'll do exercise 5.28. Okay, ready? We're going on to exercise 5.28. Ready, everyone? Okay, exercise 5.28 says, find the range of values of m for which the equation blah 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 has no real roots. Represent the solution set on the number line. So this question is a little bit different. They tell you that the equation must have no real roots. So let's write down the equation first. I lost someone again. Okay, this equation is to have no real roots. What do you know about equation with no real roots? What do you know about quadratic equation that have no real roots? You learned before last week. What is less than 0? Some more? No. Equation? No. Last week we learned for a quadratic equation to have no real roots, what must? Yes, b squared minus 4ac. So to have no real roots, the b squared minus 4ac must be less than 0. Okay, so this is tapping on last week's knowledge. Okay, this is my quadratic equation. Can tell me what's the b and the a and the c? What's the b? b is minus m. Very good. Minus m whole thing square. What's the a? A is 1. What's the c? C is 1. Very nice. Okay? Anybody don't know why I have that? The b and the a and the c. Up to here, okay? So b squared minus 4ac is supposed to be less than 0 because no real roots. Jordan, help me sort this out. M squared minus 4 times 1 times 1. What do you get? M minus 4. M squared minus 4. M squared minus 4. Okay. Now, M squared minus 4 must be less than 0. Now, if you look at this, this looks deceptively easy to solve, but actually it's not so straightforward. This is again a quadratic inequality in terms of M. Do you agree? Why quadratic? M squared minus 4. This is a quadratic form. And it's an inequality because less than 0. So if I want to solve this quadratic inequality, I must do what we just learned today. The few steps of going through quadratic inequality. So Jordan, what is the first step I need to do to solve this quadratic inequality? Okay, first step I must do is to let it equal to 0, right? Remember, don't care about the inequality first. Let it equal to 0 first, then factorize. So you have two answers. M is 2 or M is minus 2. Correct up to here? Yes, making it 0 count towards the working mark. It does. Please show all working. I don't know how much it counts, whether it counts at all, but just in case they decide to deduct mark if you don't have that. Okay, so I have M equals to 2, M equals to minus 2. Up to here, okay? Okay, what's the next step? Diana, after I let it be 0 and I solve already, what is the next step usually? Sketch the graph. Excellent. Sketch the graph. So let's sketch the graph by the side. Smiling or frowning? Let's look here. This tells you whether it's smiling or frowning. Smiling or frowning? Smiling, because it's M squared, positive M squared. So smiling curve. And the two intercepts are minus 2 and 2. Up to here, okay? Okay, sketch the graph. Something like this. Go back to the inequality. This is your inequality. This is what you're trying to solve. M squared minus 4 is less than 0. Which part do I want? If I want the M squared minus 4 to be less than 0, which part of the curve am I interested in? The below graph. Nice. This part. This is the part I'm interested in. Audrey, you alright so far? Karina, you okay? Carissa? Maybe Carissa not listening to me. Shout if you don't understand anything, okay? Okay. So I'm interested in this part of the graph because I'm interested in less than 0. So, can tell me what are the values of x for this area of the graph that I'm interested in? What's the answer? Sorry, values of m, not x. I'm sorry. Remember, we are plotting the m now. So my m must be between negative 2 and 2. So I have alligator jaw, alligator jaw. Do I need equal sign, Xingyi? Why not? Nope, because you always go back to your inequality. You look at the inequality. Remember, there's no equal sign here. So here no equal sign, my answer also no equal sign. So this is my answer. Oh, okay. So this is my answer actually. I want to represent it on a number line now. Jade, can you help me? Represent it on a number line. So my number line comes out. What are the two important points on this number line, Jade? What are the two important points on this number line? What are the two important numbers? -2 is 1. Next one? We got 3. 2. Okay. So, I want between -2 and 2, hollow circle or solid circle? Don't shade. Nice. So all the way between this and this. Are we okay? Karina, you alright? Okay. Charlene? Jordan? One thing? Okay, nothing. One thing, you okay, ah? Hanxiang? Okay. One more exercise 5.29, and then I'm going to leave you all to do the tutorial. And you all can post whatever questions you have here, okay? I go on to the next one. Can I go on to the next one? Audrey, you okay already? Okay. Exercise 5.29. We should do Skype every day, ah. Don't need to come for 8 AM class. You think? 8 AM Wednesday? Oh, see, he wants to go to school. Every lesson is impossible. Well, suddenly everybody's so active. I like to go to school too, Xingyi. Last time when I was in school, I loved to go to school. Staying at home is so boring. Thank you, Xingyi. You like poly, ah? That's nice to hear. A lot of people don't like. Why so sad? Nobody talked to you, is it? Jinglong, why? Jinglong, next time when you start working, then you appreciate school, okay? Okay. 5.29. Can read the question first? Can someone read aloud? Let me appoint someone to read aloud. Charlene, you read. No. Okay, I read. Find the range of values of Q for which the line y equals to x plus 2. It's okay, see, intersects the curve y square plus x plus q whole thing square equals to 2. So I have two equations here. They say they want the two to intersect at two distinct points. Two distinct points, okay? Remember again last week, what did we say? When two graphs are to intersect at two distinct points, what do we do first? Remember or not? Testing your prior knowledge. Simultaneously, exactly. So I'm going to equate the two, combine them into one equation. So simultaneously solve. So I'm going to call this equation 1, I'm going to call this equation 2. Xingyi, you forgot last week already, huh? So from equation 1, because y equal x plus 2, I'm going to substitute the equation 1 straight away into equation 2. Why do I do that? Because I want to combine the two equations together into one. Yeah, this one needs practice one. After a while, you will know what to do. So firstly, I sub equation 1 into equation 2. Okay? Okay, equation 2, I see y square. So the entire y I change to x plus 2 and then square. So far so good? Haven't finished, huh? Continue. Plus x plus q whole thing square. That one I don't change anything. Just leave it as x plus q whole thing square. Equal to, also don't change. The only thing that changed was y has been replaced. Next step, Hanxiang, what do I do now? I think Hanxiang is not listening to me already. What do I do, Xingyi? Oh, okay. Expand lah. Oh, how you know, Brian? Are you at his house? Expand, okay? Oh, okay, too much information. Let me expand. X squared plus 4x plus 4 plus x squared plus 2qx plus q squared equals, let me bring the 2 over, so minus 2 equals 0. Okay, I expand everything and then I push the 2 to the left hand side. Seeing you okay? Okay. Next step. Who haven't I talked to? Carissa. Carissa, can you tidy up the left hand side for me? Gather the right like terms together. Make it simpler. Carissa. Matthew, you're back. Ayo, lazy bum. Okay, so x squared plus x squared, 2x squared, I'll do it. 4x plus 2qx, so I have plus x. Take out common factor x, 4 plus 2q. Okay, these two come together. The x and x come together. Then some more, I have 4 on its own, plus q squared. Oh, 4 minus 2 is 2. The constant terms also must simplify. So I have 4 minus 2 is 2 plus q squared. So basically what I did was the x squared and x squared combined, the x term and the x term combined, the constant 4 and the q squared and the minus 2 combined. Okay here? Okay? Samantha, you alright? Okay, Matthew, tell me, remember I say this graph and this graph must intersect at 2 distinct points, and I've combined the equations together. So what should the resulting discriminant of this equation, what should it be? So that the two graphs intersect at 2 distinct points. Since the two graphs intersect at 2 points, the discriminant b squared minus 4ac should be Should be... Hanjiang is right, Edison is right. It should be bigger than 0. Bigger than 0. Remember, if the two graphs intersect at 2 points, discriminant must be bigger than 0. Two real and distinct roots. Less than 0 means do not intersect. Equal 0 means intersect once. Must remember these three, okay? Okay, so discriminant b squared minus 4ac must be bigger than 0. Where do I get the discriminant b and a and c? Where do I get it from? I get from the resulting quadratic equation, the one that's curly-wurly. Okay, get me the b, please. I think, Jordan, b, please. Xingyu, you are correct, but I want Jordan to answer. What's b, Jordan? It's okay. Yep, 4 plus 2q. Over here, the x coefficient. So 4 plus 2q whole thing square. What is the a? Audrey, what's the a? Very good. A is 2. One thing, what's the c? Diana also can? One thing, what's the c in this case? Yep, 2 plus q squared. This part. So this whole thing must be bigger than 0 because discriminant must be bigger than 0. Okay, up to here? Junwei, can you tell me what do I do now? Yep, expand and simplify. Expand. We can't do anything else except to expand, right? So let's expand. 4 plus 2q whole thing square. Upon expanding, I get 16 plus 16q plus 4q square. I'm not going to show the details of how I expand. You all do the expansion yourself, okay? And then here becomes minus 16 minus 8q square. Open up brackets, basically. Okay? I continue to simplify. 4q square minus 8q square becomes minus 4q square. 16q is alone, so just 16q. 16 minus 16, no more 16, so no more, so bigger 0. So I'm just simplifying, tidying up the terms. Are we okay? Look at what we have here. What do you call this again? What is this we're trying to solve here? Quadratic inequality, exactly. It's quadratic inequality one more time. Quadratic inequality. Why is it quadratic inequality? Because I get a quadratic form on the left and an inequality here. So it's a quadratic inequality. To solve this quadratic inequality, I need to use all the techniques I learned just now again. Okay? The step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. So I'm going to use the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Firstly, I look at what I have here. I'm going to take out... Oh, okay. I'm going to take out common factor minus 4. The number minus 4 I take out, okay? I don't like negative sign with q square, so I'm going to take out the negative 4. So I'm left with q square minus 4q. Up to here, alright? Can? Tell me if not okay, ah? Okay, can, yeah? ALYSHA. Say, continue. This minus 4, I want to get rid of it. I can bring it over to divide by minus 4. So I have q squared minus 4q. Now, because I'm dividing by minus 4, divide by minus 4, since I divide by negative number, my alligator jaw must turn sides. And 0 divided by minus 4 is still 0. Okay? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this so that my q square coefficient is positive and in its simplest form, if possible. So it is a trick to make sure I don't make careless mistake later. Everybody understand why the alligator jaw turns sides? Because I divide by a negative number. Okay, so this is the final inequality I'm solving for, yeah? Q squared minus 4q is to be less than 0. It is still quadratic inequality. So I'm going to start the process we just learned. The first step is to let q squared minus 4q equal 0. Okay, make it equal 0. Take out q. Sorry. Okay, like this. And then q got two values, 0 or positive 4. Brian, okay? Okay, next step. Yikai, what do I do now? I already found the q roots already. I found the q intercepts. What do I do now? I draw the graph, exactly. So I draw the graph by the side. Okay, this is smiling or frowning. Go back to what is the final inequality we're looking for. We're solving for this. So this is a smiling or frowning? Smiling, very nice. And the roots are 0 and 4 based on this. So 0 and 4. Smiling and 0 and 4 here. Okay. Finish drawing already? Go and look for what you're looking for. I want less than 0. I want the output, the graph, to be less than 0. So we're interested in the negative bit. So we're looking for here. The graph is to be negative. So what's the final answer? Can someone write it into an inequality form? What's the range of values for q? Nice. Q must be between 0 and 4. Remember, it's q. I'm interested in q now because this is the inequality I'm solving for. The inequality is in q. And there's no equal sign. Yes, it is always, but not everybody does it like the way I do. It's a habit of mine to always make the q square positive, but not everybody does it like that. So some people may end up with a frowning curve. It all depends on how they do the question. But my habit is always make q square positive so that my graph is always smiling. Otherwise it gets a bit confusing. Okay, no equality sign because the inequality I'm solving also got no equality sign. So this is my final answer. I'm done. Okay, I tell you what. Anybody has any question? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now. Give me a sec first.